My name is Daniel Reed, and for most of my life, my older brother Mason treated me like I was just another piece of furniture in the house, something he could move, use, or ignore whenever he felt like it. He was 3 years older than me, physically stronger, louder, more popular, and undeniably the favorite kid, according to my mother, though she would deny it every time I brought it up. My father had passed away when I was 12, leaving only the three of us in a house that suddenly felt smaller and colder. Dad used to tell me, a person's true character shows when they think no one is watching. I didn't fully understand that until the day Mason tried to sell the one thing Dad left me, my car. But the story doesn't begin with that betrayal. It begins long before, with a pattern of small, selfish moments that eventually built into something I could no longer ignore. Mason had always believed the world owed him something. If he wanted money, he borrowed it and never returned it. If he wanted clothes, he borrowed those too, usually mine. If he needed a ride, he would demand it, even if I was asleep or busy. Mom always said, "He's your brother, Daniel. You should help each other." But the truth was, I helped him. He never helped me back. When I turned 17, I got my first part-time job at a local hardware store. Mason mocked it, saying, "Why work there? You look like a kid stacking boxes." But I didn't care. I worked for a year, saved every dollar, and finally bought something that wasn't flashy, but meant the world to me. A used 2008 Honda Civic. It wasn't much, but it ran smoothly and gave me something Mason never had: independence. Dad's old friend, Mr. Harper, helped me check the engine and paperwork. He patted my shoulder and said, "Your dad would be proud you did this yourself." That alone made the car priceless to me. Mason, of course, immediately became jealous. He had no car, no savings, and no real job. He used to brag about side hustles that were really just excuses to avoid actual work. Every night he went out with friends, came home late, and asked to borrow my car, always promising he would return it quickly, always lying. At first, I refused. Then Mom pressured me. "You live under the same roof. You should share, Daniel." So I started lending it to him occasionally. But every time Mason used my car, he brought it back with something wrong. The gas tank lower, the music settings messed up, random crumbs everywhere. Once even a tiny crack on the windshield he claimed must have already been there. I promised myself that I would set boundaries, but boundaries mean nothing when you live in a house where the loudest person always wins. Then came the day everything changed. It was a Saturday morning in early April. I woke up around 9 a.m., walked downstairs, and noticed the house strangely quiet. Mom was at her sister's place, and Mason, shockingly, was awake early. But he wasn't in the house. At first, I didn't think much of it. Then, I went to the driveway. My car wasn't there. For a moment, my chest tightened. I texted Mason, "Where's my car?" No reply. I called him, straight to voicemail. Something felt wrong. Mason borrowed the car before, but he always left a note or told Mom. This time, nothing. I walked inside, pacing through the living room, and that's when I heard a faint voice from outside. A man's voice. Curious, I went near the front window and peeked outside. My heart sank. My car was parked near the curb, but Mason wasn't driving it. He was standing next to it with two strangers talking intensely. I couldn't hear everything, but I heard enough. "Yeah, it's in great condition. Nothing wrong with it. Price is final. Cash only." My stomach dropped so fast, I thought I might faint. He was selling my car. selling the only thing I ever bought for myself, selling the only thing Dad's memory touched, selling it behind my back like it was some old piece of furniture he no longer needed. I stepped outside, slowly at first, then faster as anger boiled under my skin. Mason looked up, and his face shifted from confidence to shock to irritation, as if I was the one interrupting something. "What are you doing?" I shouted. He forced a smile at the buyers. "Sorry, my brother's dramatic. Ignore him." One of the buyers frowned. "Is this even your car?" "It's mine," I snapped. "He's not authorized to sell anything." The men exchanged awkward looks. One whispered, "Let's go," and they quickly walked away. The moment they were out of sight, Mason exploded. "What the hell is wrong with you, Daniel? You scared them off." "What's wrong with me?" I yelled back. "You're selling my car without telling me." He rolled his eyes. "I needed the money, okay? You barely use this car." "That doesn't matter. It's not yours." He stepped closer, trying to tower over me like he always did. "You owe Mom and me for everything we've done for you. Consider this payback." I felt a heat rush through me. Anger, betrayal, disbelief, all mixed into one painful burst. Payback? For what? Being your personal servant? Letting you use my stuff whenever you want? He scoffed. "Grow up, Daniel. It's just a stupid car." Stupid car. He didn't know what that car meant to me. He didn't know what Dad's memory meant. And clearly, he didn't care. I walked away from him before I did something I'd regret. But I wasn't done. Not this time. For the first time in my life, I wasn't going to let Mason treat me like I didn't matter. For the first time, I wasn't going to let him walk all over me. And for the first time, I would learn exactly what Dad meant when he said, "Character shows when they think no one is watching." Because karma was watching, and karma was about to collect a debt Mason couldn't afford. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Mason standing beside my car, telling strangers lies, acting like he had every right to take something that didn't belong to him. The betrayal sat in my chest like a weight I couldn't breathe around. By sunrise, I knew one thing for sure. If I didn't take control of my life now, Mason would keep taking from me until I had nothing left. That morning, at breakfast, Mason acted like nothing had happened. He sat at the table, scrolling through his phone, laughing at some video, sipping orange juice he didn't pay for. Mom was frying eggs, humming, unaware that the family she thought she had was cracking in the worst way. I sat down quietly. Mom glanced at me. "You look tired, Daniel." Before I could respond, Mason spoke. "Yeah, he freaked out yesterday. Overreacts to everything." I clenched my jaw. My hands tightened around my glass. Mom frowned. "Over what?" Mason shrugged casually. "Just told him I needed his car for a bit. He threw a tantrum like a little kid." I stared at him in disbelief. The lie rolled off his tongue so smoothly, it made me feel sick. "That's not what happened," I said quietly, but firmly. Mom looked at me. "Then what happened?" Mason huffed dramatically. "Here we go." I took a deep breath. "He tried to sell my car yesterday, without asking, without telling me." Mom froze. Her spatula stopped midair. Her eyes flicked to Mason. "Mason, is that true?" Mason laughed, a fake laugh. "Are you seriously believing him? Why would I sell his car? He's making things up because he doesn't want to share." "Share?" I snapped. "You were literally negotiating with buyers in the driveway." Mom's expression hardened. "Mason, answer me." For a moment, Mason's disguise cracked. His jaw tightened. His eyes darted away. Then he said,
Fine, I met with someone, but only because I wanted to upgrade the car, sell his junk, and get us something better for the family. For the family? I repeated, stunned. You were going to keep the money. Mom's voice rose. Mason, you cannot sell things that don't belong to you. Mason slammed his palm on the table. I'm doing everything around here. I help you pay bills. I take care of things. Daniel does nothing. That's not true, I shot back. I pay for my own stuff, my own gas, my own meals, my own repairs. And that car? Dad's old friend helped me buy it. It means something to me. Mason scoffed. Dad's dead. Let it go. Silence. Mom slapped Mason across the face before I could even process the words. It wasn't hard enough to injure him, but it stunned him. And me. You do not speak about your father like that, she said, voice shaking with fury, and you do not steal from your brother. Mason
Didn't talk to me for 2 full days. It would have been a peaceful break if the silence weren't so obviously fueled by anger that had no real direction except toward me. But honestly, I didn't care. I had lived too long bending under his moods, tiptoeing around his ego, pretending his behavior was normal. This time, I wasn't backing down. On Saturday morning, Mom and I were in the kitchen when Mason finally came downstairs. He had on fresh clothes, cologne strong enough to choke a horse, and a smug confidence that instantly made my stomach twist. Mom looked up. "Morning. Where are you off to?" Mason smirked. "A job interview." I blinked. Mason had never applied for a job he didn't get fired from within a month. Mom's face lit up with hope. "Really? That's wonderful, Mason." He shrugged, as if he didn't care, but the pride swelling inside him was obvious. "Yeah, well, someone has to make real money around here." He threw another look at me. I didn't react. I just kept eating. If he expected a fight, he wasn't getting one. Mom smiled softly. "What job is it?" "Mechanic assistant. Good pay, full-time, benefits." He threw another look at me. "Maybe I'll buy my own car soon." Mom clapped her hands. "I'm so proud of you." I wanted to be happy for him. Really. But something about his sudden shift felt wrong. Too sudden. Too convenient. Mason never put effort into anything unless he thought he could benefit in a big way. He grabbed his keys, his own keys, and headed toward the door. Mom called out, "You taking the bus?" He froze. I could practically see the gears turning in his head. Slowly, Mason turned around. "Actually, I need Daniel's car." Mom stiffened. "Mason? No." He smirked. "It's just for today. I need to make a good impression." Mom shook her head firmly. "You tried to sell it, remember? You are not taking his car." Mason stepped forward, lowering his voice dangerously. "Mom, I can't show up smelling like bus seats. I need that car." "No," she repeated. "Use your bike or reschedule." Mason glared at me like this was somehow my fault. "You're happy now. You're ruining my chance to turn my life around." I stared back evenly. If getting a job depended on stealing my car, maybe it's not the right job. Something inside Mason broke. His face twisted with rage. "You're such a selfish brat. You think you're better than me? You're nothing without me. Nothing." Mom rushed between us. "Enough. Mason, stop it." But Mason wasn't listening anymore. Anger had taken over. He stormed out the front door, slamming it behind him. Mom let out a shaky breath. "Daniel, I'm sorry." "It's not your fault," I said gently. But it wasn't over. Not even close. Around 3 p.m., Mom and I were watching TV when a loud knock shook the door. Mom frowned. Who could that be? When I opened the door, a man stood there, middle-aged, bald, grease stains on his shirt, holding a folder. "Can I help you?" I asked cautiously. Yeah, he said bluntly. Looking for Mason Brooks. Mom stood up. He's not home right now. The manager sighed and rubbed his forehead. Figures. He didn't show up to his interview. Again. That explained the smug confidence this morning. He wasn't planning to go. He just wanted to manipulate Mom to get my car. Mom forced an embarrassed laugh. I'm so sorry. Was he supposed to call? He did, 3 days ago. He told us he had reliable transportation and needed a high starting salary. But today, he never showed up. Then calls half an hour ago demanding we reschedule because his brother sabotaged him. My jaw dropped. He blamed me? The manager continued. We reviewed his application after the call. He lied about his experience. Lied about references. One reference hung up on us. That sounded exactly like Mason. And, he added, he tried to negotiate his salary before even meeting us. That's not how things work. Mom looked mortified. I didn't know. The manager handed her a paper. We're not considering his application anymore. If he comes by, let him know. He turned to leave, then looked at me. You must be the brother? He asked. I nodded. Word of advice? People like him don't change until life forces them to. And with that, he drove off. Mom collapsed into the nearest chair, face buried in her hands. Oh God, what do I do with him? I sat beside her. He needs consequences. She looked at me with sad eyes. He's my son. And I'm yours too, I said softly. She hugged me, tight, desperate, apologetic. And in that moment, a silent understanding passed between us. Mason wasn't just going to ruin his life. He was dragging us down with him, unless something changed. Soon. Mason came home later that night. He looked irritated, but not devastated, which confused me. Did he not know he was rejected? Mom approached him cautiously. How did the interview go? He tossed a bag of chips on the table. Fine. They loved me. Mom's eyes widened. Mason, the manager came by. He froze. They told us everything. About the lies, the call, the attitude. His jaw tightened. They're lying. Mason, whispered Mom, please stop. Stop lying to us. Stop manipulating. Stop stealing. He took a step backward, stunned. He wasn't used to being confronted by her. He wasn't used to Mom choosing me. You're taking his side again? Over me? Mason, I'm not taking sides. I'm facing the truth. Mason's face darkened. You're both against me. Nobody is against you, Daniel. We just want you to stop hurting people. He laughed, a broken, bitter laugh. Hurt? You haven't seen hurt. Then he stormed toward the hallway. Where are you going? Mom asked. To my room, to find something that actually belongs to me. But the moment he opened his bedroom door, he froze. Because the one thing he valued most, the thing he used daily, cherished, bragged about, his entire virtual life, was missing. The desk was empty. The cords were neatly coiled, the chair pushed aside. Only a note remained. Mason snatched it and read it out loud. ... Items of value should belong to people who value others. Until you learn that, your things are safe with someone responsible. ... Dash. Karma. His eyes widened with horror. Karma? He shouted at me, eyes burning. You did this! But he was wrong. I didn't touch his PC. Mom didn't touch it. Karma did. And Mason had no idea yet just how brutal karma was about to get. Mason stared at the empty desk like someone had ripped his heart straight out of his chest. His gaming PC wasn't just a machine. It was his escape, his status, his entire identity. All his online friends, game progress, streaming setup, everything was gone. But he didn't scream. Not at first. He simply stood frozen, shaking. "Mason," Mom said gently, "we didn't take anything." "Shut up," he roared, spitting towards me. "Where is it? Where?" I just shrugged. "Maybe ask Karma." His nostrils flared in rage. "You think this is funny?" "No," I said quietly. "But you stole from me. You lied to us. You tried to sell something that wasn't yours. Maybe now you know how it feels." His chest heaved as he grabbed my shirt and slammed me against the hallway wall. "You little—" But Mom grabbed his arm. "Mason, stop, let him go." He threw my shirt away violently and stalked to the living room, pacing, swearing under his breath, pulling at his hair. Then suddenly he stopped. His eyes narrowed. "Wait," he whispered. "Did someone break in? Did someone steal it?" Mom stepped forward. "Mason, nothing else was taken." He blinked. Slowly, realization crept onto his face. "You knew this would happen. You knew someone would come after me." "What are you talking about?" I asked. Mason swallowed hard, panic filling his voice. "That note? That message? Karma? Someone wrote that on my car last year when I crashed into that mailbox. Someone texted me that after I cheated that guy out of money. Someone left that same message after I stole Mark's bike in 8th grade." Mom gasped. "Oh my God." But Mason ignored her, talking more to himself now. "It's him. It's the same guy. He's been following me, watching me, for years." I felt the hair on my arms rise. "Mason? Who?" He suddenly sat down, face pale.